The weather actually feels like it's warming up to spring-like weather. There's still a couple of weeks left until that anyways. And what did I read today? I was reading this one, it was kind of interesting. It was from the San Bernardino County Fire, and apparently they used a drone, as it says here, to rescue a teen trapped between boulders in Rimrock. So it's kind of cool as they showed you the footage and all that too. So according to this, they said late Monday evening, San Bernardino County Fire crews responded to a report of a 15-year-old victim who had become trapped in a narrow rock crevice while climbing with his family in the Rimrock area. The victim's family called 911 after several hours and multiple unsuccessful attempts to free him earlier in the day. That must be a nightmare, huh? Crews arrived after dark to discover the teenager stuck approximately 30 feet down a crack between large boulders. The boy had slipped while climbing earlier in the day and became tightly wedged, unable to free himself. His positioning severely restricted his ability to breathe, posing a life-threatening situation. Drones played a vital role in assisting rescuers during the operation by providing overhead lighting and real-time sustained aerial situational awareness of the scene. Equipped with high-powered lights, the drone illuminated the rescue site, enhancing visibility for crews working in the dark and navigating the rugged terrain. Live video feeds from the drone allowed the incident commander to monitor the situation from above, assess potential hazards, and coordinate resources more effectively. This aerial perspective helped ensure a safer and more efficient rescue effort, demonstrating the valuable role of drone technology in emergency response operations. Well, that's kind of interesting too. It's something you would think would be more used in a common scenario like this to bring you the necessary tools that you need. Kind of reminds me of what I said last time, where a lot of people fearmonger a drone nowadays, where they'll say, who cares, restrict this guy and that guy, but as soon as it comes to saving your life, then you're okay with it. I mean, there should be some consistency, right? Again, it comes down to what you're using and how. And with that topic of drones still, this was kind of interesting, as apparently it looked like there was a car manufacturer in China that's going to be partnering up with DJI to have their drones integrated with their car. So it was kind of interesting. It was just a teaser. So in general, it was from a company called BYD, and they're partnering up with DJI. And based on the information, BYD announced the launch event for their intelligent in-car drone system in partnership with DJI, and is scheduled to be announced in March 2nd, 2025 at their global headquarters in Shenzhen. But as you can see here, there's this post saying, "With eyes that can think, capture the brilliance of a journey in a moment. BYD joins hands with DJI Innovation. In 3 days, we invite you to witness together the launch event of BYD's intelligent in-car drone system." It makes me think, well, that sounds cool and all that. Regulations would stop you from actually using this in a lot of places, wouldn't it? For example, in a lot of places, they have beyond visual line of sight rules. So can you imagine popping this thing to follow you in the car? You're not paying attention to it. Technically, it's illegal and all that. Or at the same time, a lot of places they have rules where you're not allowed to operate a quote drone while you're operating like a vehicle of some sort, like even like a boat, for example. I wouldn't doubt if stuff like this will be integrated into a lot of cars in general as time goes on. It could be like just a little tiny micro drone, or I can imagine people doing things like those Uber deliveries and all that. Can you imagine that, where people just attach some kind of device on their car and it does things like last mile delivery, just like how carriers and stuff do it? I wouldn't doubt it anyways in the future. And today it seemed like there was so much news about Epstein and some kind of list being released. I know that Jeffrey Epstein person was supposed to be this prolific pedophile, for example, who has a lot of dirt on some very powerful people. For example, allegedly videos showing them doing, let's just say, disgusting things. But despite all the investigations and the information they have, for example, like in the FBI, they've never released it for whatever reason. And apparently that's changing, where some people were actually getting information, like media outlets and all that. Although that in itself generated some controversy apparently, because people are wondering, why don't you just release the whole thing public, like in a site, for example, where everybody can access it. For the most part, it seemed like people got binders of details, and one of the information apparently in the US, it came from the Office of the Attorney General, saying the FBI or whatever were withholding information and they actually want access to it. So yeah, it makes you wonder, hey, what is going on there? So whatever these guys have in their binders is probably just general information. I wouldn't doubt it. It's more just to calm the fire down, when people say, you promised to release this and so forth. So at least this gives people something, I guess. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Is it really that bad, like what everyone says anyways? And will people actually be held accountable? That's the ultimate question. Alright, see you guys later.